We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many challenges as we can, before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we complete all the challenges in a chunk before time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play in. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back. In the last episode, we were able to get a bow for the very first time, and actually we've been able to train ranged, which is super cool. We finally have a way to kill things from a safe spot. The head of the snake is currently here in Corsair Cove, and the tail of the snake is currently in the Catherby volcano, having just taken a boat at the end of the last episode. The area around here is full of kind of different grinds, from fletching to hunter to maybe catching implings even. But I don't know where we're going to go. So I want to try and get myself as prepared as possible for doing some killing from safe spots, which means that I want to train my ranged as high as I can. To do that in this chunk, I am going to have to utilise the good old friends of seagulls. And so that's what I'm going to begin this episode doing. I'm going to spend an hour killing seagulls and seeing just how high I can get my range level. But before we get into that, my good friend and strategy game YouTuber Lemon Cake has challenged me to a sub race. He reckons that he can get to 50,000 subscribers before I can get to 1,000. I'm hoping to prove him wrong, so if you do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing. The winner is going to get some free Wetherspoon's lunch. So I've just grabbed my best in slot ranged gear. This is quite a funny outfit. But let's start the timer and kill some seagulls. Currently level 16, hoping to get maybe 25 in this hour, but I mean, we only have bronze arrows and a oak shortbow, so I can't really expect too much. I might start using some of my other better arrows which I've saved up, but I think at the moment it's not really worth it. I'm going to save these for if we're going to kill some ogres. But let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's kill some seagulls. I'm going to try pick up as many of my arrows as I can bother to do. They are cheap as chips, so I don't really mind losing them. But I just got to make sure I have enough for, a couple of hours at least without a bank. And there's level 20 ranged. Currently getting about 8,000 experience an hour, so hopefully maybe even 30s on the cards for this hour. But I won't hold my breath. I think 25 is a good goal for now. And there's 25 ranged. Unfortunately, the next max hit for a bronze arrow isn't until 33 ranged, so I'm just going to try and get as many levels as possible. Just in case we go west from here into the Ogress dungeon, where then I can just range the Ogress, try and get the headband. I mean, that would be a hella spoon if I can get it in the next few hours, but a man can dream, can't he? At the end of this kill, it will be the end of the hour. We were just shy of 30 ranged, which is super good for a first kind of, well, I mean, I did train it last episode, but, a first proper training session. And here we are, with the head of the snake in Corsair Cove and the rest of the body out in Catherby. So the head of the snake is currently here, then the second chunk here, third chunk here, and the tail of the snake being the Catherby volcano. From here, we can actually only go in one direction. I just realised that, of course, we can't get over this part of rocks here. We have to go through the agility shortcut, which means we have to go to the Ogress's lair. Which means this becomes our unlocked chunk, and we lose access to the volcano. From here, there's 50-50 choice, one of which gets us stuck again, which I'd rather not happen, but we're going to get to pick. So let's jump in the game and get to killing some ogresses. Right, so we are going to give a shot at killing some ogresses. Now, the wiki recommends that you are above 40 range to do this. We're only 29, so this might be very interesting. I don't know how long it's going to take to even just do one kill. The drop we're going for is a 1 in 1,200, but also these guys drop the long and the curved bone, so this is kind of like a triple whammy if I can kill these guys. But let's give it a shot. Let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's jump down here. And someone's taken my spot. We have got 81 health 82 health. Well, judging that I've only done 20 damage in the last 2 minutes, I have a sneaking suspicion this is not going to go very well. Oh my god, they just hit an 8. I think I might just train a bit more on the seagulls and then come back. That, or actually, you know, we're going to change it up entirely. One thing I've been wanting to work on anyway is my fishing, and as the Ogresses turned out to be significantly worse than I thought it was going to be, they have a way too high of a defense, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the coins, take the boat back up to Musa Point, and go fishing. At least until we know where we're going in the next hour. We're going to need 50 fishing eventually, just for all of the harpoon spots around the game. And judging that Ogresses were really ineffective, to be honest, seagulls were kind of dull, I think that doing some fishing is going to be our best use of time. The XP per hour is pretty slow. Harpooning is maybe 15k an hour, but to be able to get 1/4 of the way to level 50 from level 40 in an hour is not too terrible. We will lose access to this chunk at the end of this hour, and if we go west, that's kind of a nothing chunk and gets us stuck. So we're just going to be rolling all around the Gilnor world again. But if we go north, then that starts to unlock some hunter for us, which I think is going to be the most effective thing that I can do. There's 41 fishing. Okay, no, I'm being an idiot. I am an idiot. Even if I could get to 50 fishing, of course, there's sharks. I have no idea why I've been doing this. I thought that 50 would be the final level I would need. Nope, it's 76. So fishing made me think just a little bit harder about it. And to be honest, it's not actually that useful a technique to do. I'm going to suck it up and keep attacking seagulls, because having a high range is going to be so useful in the future that I will just need to put the work in now. Let's kill some seagulls. This is the problem with me not thinking hard enough before I hit record. I end up just changing my mind the whole time. And there's 33 ranged, which should be a new max hit of 5, the bronze arrow. The next max hit is at 42, which is quite a long way away. But I think that 42 will probably be where I start to feel comfortable killing ogresses. So I think just focusing on leveling as fast as I can is probably the best. Oh, and with this evil Bob random, which I'll quickly do, that'll be the end of the hour. Once I finish this, we'll jump in the chunk picker. Let's see whether we're going to get stuck again. And here we are. So with that kind of disaster of an hour, we find ourselves with a 50-50, either going up into the hunter area or going forwards into the Myths Guild. If you remember from the last episode, the Myths Guild gets us stuck. We can't go anywhere from here because we don't have Dragon Slayer. We haven't been able to tick anything off this. I had to reset my chunk additions just because of a bug, but so that means that's why I have the Clue Hunter Hope Fancier Boots and the Oak Shortbow. But these I've had for a long time, it's just because of a bug inside of the chunk picker. The other 2 chunks of the snake are currently still back on Cramja, so let's see where we're going next. And we're stuck, yet again. This is a bit ridiculous. Now, the Myths Guild has absolutely nothing in it useful for us, so I guess we're going back to killing some seagulls. I'm getting a weird sense of Deja'vu standing here. We were in this chunk literally at the beginning of the last episode, so you guys know the drill. The snake's stuck here, and there is nothing much. If we had completed all the prerequisites for the Myths Guild, this would actually be a decent chunk, but of course we haven't. We are miles and miles away from that. Last time we were here, we were hunting the Implings, but because of Piro, we now have our bow, so we don't have to bother with that anymore. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to killing seagulls. It's a bit dull, but I feel like it's going to be very worth it in the long term. We still have 2,400 bronze arrows. We're losing them quite quickly, but it's probably worth doing. We will likely only get to maybe 37, 38 in this hour, so I don't think there's going to be that much progress. This will jump past pretty quickly, but let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. There's 35 ranged. And there is 39 prayer. One away from protect from missiles. I feel like I'm just going in loops at the moment. It's kind of crazy how when we've had the chance to get out of here, go to Catherby, go to Port Sarim, go to even Karamja, we've just been looped straight back into Corsair Cove. And now we're in the same situation in Corsair Cove, stuck again. So at the end of this hour, we're going to be able to see, I wonder, if we end up going back to Karamja. Now that would be some Groundhog Day level stuff. And yet another hour of seagull killing ends. Got 30,000 range experience now, which is 38. So we're about halfway to the next max hit. It's currently a max hit of 5, meaning the damage is pretty damn good actually. Well, at least against seagulls. Let's jump in the champ picker, because like last time, the snake needs to be unstuck. So I explained this last episode, but the same thing is applying here. The snake's currently stuck because we don't have access to this chunk here until we complete Dragon Slayer 1. And there's no other chunk that it can go to. As we don't have access to the Myths Guild, there's no teleports. Which means that we invoke the snake unsticking procedure. If you want a more in-depth explanation of this, go back to episode 5. But what that means is that every chunk that is not connected to the end chunk of the snake, which is this one here in Musa Point, is now rollable, including all trust ship locations and the 2 that are next to it. A portal will open up in front of the snake and then it will go out into one of these locations. Of these chunks, I would really like Catherby. Getting to Ritual Unlocked will be really big for this account to unlock Herblore finally. But to be honest, I just want anything other than maybe Port Khazad, these 2, and going back to Karamja. So ideally one of these 3 up here. But I don't get to pick. Let's roll. Hey, and it's Catherby. Sick. Cool. That means that we are going to a new area of the game. Finally. The snake will be facing north coming out this port so that the 3 chunks around it are rollable. Let's jump in the game and finally explore. Man, I am so happy. We're finally going to a new area, a new chunk. It feels like it's been forever. So if we go here, we can charter up to Catherby. Oh, it costs 1,000 coins. I forgot I do not have those coins on me. Okay, let's try that again. Catherby, 1,000 coins. Yes, please. And we're finally in a new area. Over here, this is really good. So first and foremost, there's a willow's tree. We can upgrade our bow from an oak short bow to a willow short bow. There's a bank in here, which means we've got a bank for 4 hours. There's an impling spawn as well. Huh. And yeah, this leads to quite a few interesting chunks. Mainly, the best thing I want to get to is Seer's Village, because we can actually unlock forestry. We can also get over to the Druidic Ritual area where we'll unlock Herblore. So I'm super happy that we're over in this direction. So thinking about a few of the chunks around here, I think the best bet for what we're going to work on is going back to doing a little bit of fletching. Making a willow short bow and then chopping down these oak trees, dumping them in the bank. Let's get to it. The beauty of this area doesn't really show itself until later on. Let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's run over and get to making a best in slot. And with that, we can turn this into an oak short bow unstrung. Use the bowstring on it. And we have a new best in slot archery guild. Let's drop this and get to doing some more fletching. There is one thing, which is there is a diary task here. I need to get a candle from the candle maker. So let's withdraw a bunch of coins and buy one of these. And there you go. That is a chunk task complete. Let's get to doing some fletching. Just while I remember, I'm going to chop 1 yew log. Now, we can't convert this into a yew short bow just yet, but in the future we're going to be able to, and that's going to become a best in slot for us. So I'll just pop this in the bank and get back to doing some oak logs. Now that I think about it, I need to prepare in case we unlock forestry. And one of the things that I really want from the forester is I want the log basket, which requires 300 oaks and 300 willow logs. So I'm going to quickly just chop a bunch of willows and try and get 300 in the bank. And there's 66 wood cutting. And with this Rick Turpentine event, we have run out of time. We are nowhere near 300 willow logs, but we made some progress towards it. Let's jump in the chart picker and see where we're going next. And here we are. So in the hour, we managed to get some willow logs and worked a bit more towards on the fletching goal. But really, we're just preparing for just in case we unlock forestry going up into Sears Village. All three of these chunk rolls are great. Going forwards gets us an allotment patch and takes us closer to Sears. Going left gets us towards Sorcerer's Tower, which just takes us towards the Ranging Guild, an area we've been before. And going right would be incredible, unlocking a fishing shop for the first time, which I really, really want to utilise. But of course, I don't get to pick. So let's roll. And it's forwards into Camelot Castle. Because of the snake being stuck, that means that we lose access to Corsair Cove now. Let's jump in the game and explore Camelot Castle. So let's get to the hour. We do the first step of Merlin's Crystal, which is just talking to King Arthur, and then we can start some planting. We can do some potatoes, I think, and I'll just give in some compost. I have quite a bit of it left. And let's get to it. Let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start with some farming. Okay, there's level 10 farming, and I need to go plant some marigolds inside of this flower patch here, because it will protect the onions later on. I need to get that done, and then I need to pay the farmer there, and then I can dump everything away, and we could start Merlin's Crystal. And I think that's all we're going to be able to do. Yeah, so after talking to this guy, the rest of the chunk, I need this chunk to be able to actually go upstairs, so I can't do any more. Let's get back to chopping some willow trees. Now, I do know that I need all the anima bark as well to get the log back, but I'd rather get the willow just out of the way and not think about it later, because oaks will be significantly quicker than doing this. So I'm getting the longer bit out of the way, just in case we go in that direction. I mean, it's still 50-50 that we go in the opposite direction, but... And we now have enough willow logs, so let's jump back onto oaks. And there's 59 fletching. 13 levels to go. And with the end of this hour, we'll be able to see whether we're going to go towards the forestry or not. I really, really hope we do, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't. So one thing I forgot to tick off in the last hour was getting the easy Kandarin diary of buying a candle. We were able to tick off the first step of Merlin's Crystal, and nothing else. We were just working on our fletching grind, hoping that we get Sears Village. But of course, let's see where fate takes us. And it's into White Wolf Mountain. So from here, I really don't know where we can go. So let's jump in the game and have a look. So this is kind of a nothing chunk, mainly because you can't get up over these hills here. If I try to click over here, it will route me all the way around into this chunk and then up over here. So we can't get up onto the mountain yet. What we can do is, talking to this dwarf over here, it starts the fishing contest quest, which unlocks the path underneath the White Wolf Mountain, which will be very, very useful to unlock later. So if we ever end up going back over towards the fishing guild, we will be able to complete that quest. Another knock-on effect of getting this chunk is that there's only one direction we can go because of the mountain blocking us off, and it's south into this Catherby chunk, which means we get the fishing shop, which is going to be a load of fletching experience for us. Being able to buy feathers is going to be really, really important. So it's really, really important for the next few hours that we really lock into making as much money as possible. And then we can buy as many feathers as we need to. But I'm going to leave that for the next episode. We're finally in a new area, and I am so, so glad to be up here. We're heading towards Druid Ritual, so I really, really hope we can unlock Herblore. And if we can do that, that means that Karamja will finally be a good place to go. But that's all for next time. I'll see you then.